Have you ever looked down at your plate and just thought, is this it? Especially when you're on a diet and it's just so bland and it's so boring. So welcome to this 5-part series, Fun with Food. I'm going to share in 5 videos how to bring joy and fun back into what we're eating, and not just eating bland food because we think it's going to help us be healthy and to lose weight. For about 30 years of my life, I lived in a food addiction, and I used food to punish myself, to torture myself, to hate myself, and I used it for comfort. That seemed to be the main thing for me when it came to food. It was comfort to me because I wasn't getting that anywhere else. Now, I've written about all of this in my book, My Food Addiction and Me, so I won't go into it too much in this series, but it has to be mentioned because I have learned a lot about food because of that food addiction. I ended up becoming a qualified nutritional medicine practitioner, and that taught me a hell of a lot about food as well, on the other end of the spectrum, and how food can heal and how food really enhances who we are. So I've learned how food really helps us on a physiological level into every cell of our being. But what I've also come to learn is that that is not the be all and end all of food, of anything really. A lot of what we do can have one very important missing component, and that is fun. It is joy. It is actually enjoying what you're eating. If you're sitting there feeling miserable, which I did for so many years, hating what you're actually eating, we now understand the energy of everything in our universe. We're still learning a lot, but we understand that the thoughts that you put in, the energy that you put in to anything that you do, it has an effect also on you on a physiological level. And that's why diets are fucked, honestly. They're completely fucked because all they seem to do is have you in a stranglehold of you have to eat this and you have to eat that, and you can only eat these sorts of foods, and they're boring and they're plain. And most people don't stick to a diet, especially when they're like that. I went on many diets. I tried many diets and failed. Very hard to be on a diet when you're in a food addiction and all you crave is food for many, many emotional reasons. But now I would never go on a diet. I have learned to trust myself and what I would like to eat in the moment. I will talk about that more in the later episodes. Now, I've put on weight. In the last, I've got to a point now where I've stopped putting on weight, but I did put on weight quite quickly within a couple of years. I think that had a lot to do with perimenopause. I don't know what else it had to do with, but it stopped. All right. So my weight now, and being a bigger size again, because I hated myself for my weight for many years. I became quite obese at a young age. And I had those horrible, terrible thoughts about myself and my weight, and I wasn't good enough and I wasn't skinny enough and all of that stuff. And then that kind of was a part of the food addiction and perpetuating the need to eat because I hated myself. So I'm never going to be like that. So why bother? And it was this vicious cycle. But putting on the weight again has actually helped me to see things very, very differently. Not just about myself, but about how we, as a society, and particularly Western society, use food. There is a lot of talk about food everywhere because we need it. Nutritionally, our bodies need to eat. We would eventually die without food. So when the weight came back on, I was annoyed, yes, but I understood that there was something that I was meant to do with that I could now, after everything that I've learnt and experienced and all the things that have happened in my life in relation to my weight and in relation to food, I was able to, as I said, see things differently. Take a step back and look at how I was eating, why I was eating, what was it doing to me? What was I missing? And the answer to that was that there was no enjoyment. Yes, sometimes, you get a good meal and you do enjoy it, but yet there's still this underlying thought pattern and this underlying feeling of, oh my God, I probably shouldn't have eaten that because it's got too much this or too much that and not enough this and not enough that. We are so, I guess, overwhelmed with information about everything that we are meant to eat that it can infiltrate how we feel when we eat. And it can take away the joy and the fun of just finding something so satisfying and so delicious and just so enjoyable. It can take all that away. We have to find that again. I truly believe that that is a missing component. And I truly believe that I went through all of everything that I have gone through over the years, the whole food addiction thing, the putting on weight, losing weight, putting on weight, the whole fucking shit of everything that I went through was for a reason. I have known for a while that this is what I meant to share with the world, that we have to find joy in our food again. But I think about how I used to look at food and how I look at food now. The differences are very distinct. As I said, there was punishment. There was a lot of emotional attachment to what I was eating. It was either going to make me skinny or it was going to make me fat. I was eating too much fat. I was eating too much sugar. I was eating too much junk food. There was such a negative energy surrounding every bite that I took. And as I just said, even though sometimes I would actually really enjoy what I was eating and know, oh my gosh, this meal was delicious, there was still so much underlying stuff. But I've learnt to recognize that that's how I was living and that I don't want to be like that. I don't want to live in that negative energy of always hating myself because I think I've eaten the wrong thing, or feeling so bad because, oh my God, I shouldn't have eaten that because it's just so ridiculously unhealthy. Or even if it wasn't, there's a lot of, there's just a lot of negativity that goes into our choices that we make when we eat. And what we've been taught over the many decades of study and experiments and figuring things out about our bodies is that food is fuel. Absolutely. We definitely need food to fuel our bodies. We can't live without it. There have been many, many different ways that have shown up of how we're supposed to eat. There is the calories in, calories out. There is keto. There is Weight Watchers. There is a gazillion different diets. This one proves that you're going to lose weight really quickly, and this one proves that you're going to lose weight slowly and you'll keep it off. And there's a lot of promises that are made. There are supplements and diet products and health products and fat. Fat was bad. And so all of the products then started being made with less fat, but there was a lot of sugar and there was a lot of all these other ingredients to bring back the flavor. We've had many ups and downs with what we have been taught about food. And it's confusing. It's overwhelming. Even, for someone has studied nutrition and who studies food and who looks at food very differently, I see all of these bits of information and all of especially now with social media, everyone has an opinion on food. This is clearly my opinion. But it has to be so much more or so much less than all of that. We forget that we have a choice in what we eat. Now, the choices are ridiculous, and I'm not going to talk about that so much now. I'm going to talk about that in a future video. What I do want to talk about now is just simply the beginnings of bringing back the fun and the joy to what you're eating, and knowing that there is that choice, that you can eat with love and you can eat from your own intuition. That is something that we have most definitely lost because of all the information, and everybody is telling us constantly that you have to eat this and you have to eat that, and this product comes out making these promises and this product comes out making these promises, and we've got so much information that just hits us constantly, especially when you're in the grocery store, that sometimes you just don't know what to do. So I'm going to explore that as well a little bit more throughout this series. For now, I want to ask you the question, when can you think of the last time that food was fun for you? Me, I can't remember. Probably as a young child, when kids love to squish food in their fingers and they run it through their hair and they're tasting it and they're exploring it. That's when things are really fun. When you're a child, you don't have all of this stuff inside of you yet telling you that everything you're doing is wrong. So explore that. When was the last time you felt that food was fun? When was the last time you truly enjoyed a meal without all of the background noise telling you that it is wrong in some way? Thank you for watching this Fun with Food series. And thank you for liking this video and subscribing to the Love Body Woman channel for more ways to listen, learn, and love. So let's bring back the fun. This 5-part series is going to show you how to do that and to help you to not feel guilty for just enjoying what you eat. Now, there is a catch, and it's not a bad catch, but I will explore that again in the coming videos as to what that is. But trust me, it's okay. You will be okay, I promise. It's nothing major. Join me for the next episode of this Fun with Food series, Why You Eat the Way That You Do.